What's up, everyone, and welcome to the stream. Today, obviously, we have the Straight Out of the Bay crew, but sadly, Keltz couldn't join us today. So we have a great person to fill in for him, which is 49er minded, who might look a little bit different. If anyone notices in the chat, you can point that out. But we got the Straight Out of the Bay crew, not on Mondays, not on Monday this week. Tomorrow's Halloween, so obviously not on Monday. We're doing it on Sunday, but we're here to talk about the 49ers and the Rams. The 49ers got a dub. They're 4-4. We sitting at 500, a dominant win. And CMC, we'll talk about him a little bit later in the stream. But what's up to everyone today? How y'all feeling tonight on this Sunday night? Let's start off with Bashar and then we'll go to Baller and Jay in the Bay. But how you feeling tonight, Bashar?
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to Bosley, Team Bosley. They hooked me up with a good full head of hair right before, right on time with the Niners' first victory in over 2 weeks. So great to have that. I'm feeling good. I went to visit the 49ers Sacramento faithfuls over at in Old Town Sacramento and Round Table Pizza, and met up with a lot of Niner fans there. And I was just like, damn, why did I even come out here? I should have just watched it at home because the first half was whatever. But yeah, great to be on here. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm feeling great, Amin. Thanks for having me. Ready to do the Straight Out of the Bay show. Great win today. First and foremost, it's gonna let us feel better going through this bye week, right? If I know for a fact, if the 49ers would have lost this game, it would have been a rough week or so with this bye week coming up. Twitter would have been wild. We would have been fire Kyle Shanahan, X's and O's, thing change. Now we can take a deep breath. We're in it. We're 4-4. We're only a game back of the NFC West lead, so I'm feeling good.
I am feeling stupendous. I gotta say, what's good? Nothing better than to come on the Straight Out of the Bay show and talk about the 49ers, and we're talking about a victory. We haven't done that in quite some time. It's been too long, so I'm feeling excellent, man. Glad to be on the show tonight.
Yep, I'm glad everyone could make it. Let's jump right into it. I mean, 49ers had a dominant win. Obviously, we know Christian McCaffrey first full game, finally, first full week, practice all week. And I mean, man, Christian McCaffrey had himself a game. He had himself a game. He's like, Debo's out, and who filled in for Debo Samuel? That was Christian McCaffrey. Threw a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, caught a touchdown. I mean, CMC was doing everything tonight. Like he put the team on his back offensively, and he literally was dominating. But we'll discuss CMC a little bit later. But first, I want to give someone else a little bit credit, and I want to talk about the quarterback of this football team, and Jimmy Garoppolo. And I mean, 21 for 25, completed 80% of his passes, 2 touchdowns, 235 yards, and no interceptions. I mean, wow, what a day by Jimmy Garoppolo. Who would have thought? No picks, good completion percentage. But what did everybody think about Jimmy Garoppolo's performance today? Starting off with let's start off with our special guest in 49er Minded. What did you think of Jimmy Garoppolo's performance?
Thank you. Because if he didn't start off with me, I'd probably forget it. And you whispered that he threw no picks for a very good reason, because when he went on that 2-game streak of him not throwing picks, everybody was just putting it out there. Oh, Jimmy G's went through a streak of he hasn't thrown interceptions in the past 2 games, and if he doesn't throw an interception in his next game, that will be the first time Jimmy G has not thrown a pick in 3 straight weeks. But when everybody said that, boom, the jinx happened. So let's try to keep the streak going. Let's keep it on the hush, of course. And Jimmy, yeah, there were times where Jimmy was Jimmy, where he has this thing about him where he just not. I'm trying to keep it positive, but he has this thing about him when there is pressure, he doesn't sense it. He doesn't throw the ball away, doesn't throw the check down, and it just takes the gigantic sack. And he was doing that a few times, and it was bothering me. But other than that, he played pretty nice.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I thought Jimmy G played pretty good. A lot of these passes, you see the 21 for 25. A lot of this stuff was the quick hitters, right? We hit through a lot of screens, a lot of stuff behind the line of scrimmage or short passes. But it wasn't only that. Jimmy was zipping some throws downfield 15, 20 yards. Ayuk was making plays for him. And I liked what I saw from Jimmy. And as Kim pointed out, the only head-scratching play was when he threw a ball right at Ramsey, who was blitzing at him. Luckily, Ramsey wasn't prepared for it, and he dropped it. So, that didn't show up in the stat sheet as an interception. But other than that, I thought Jimmy played a really good game. And this is the kind of Jimmy we need if we are going to be a contender this season.
Jimmy G was looking to the left. He was looking to the right, and he was throwing dimes all over the field. As Bay Area Baller just mentioned, this is the Jimmy G type of performance we need. We know this defense isn't as good as it was the first month of the season due to numerous injuries. This 49ers offense is going to have to score points like it did today if we want to go deep in the playoffs. And Jimmy G, you can't play much better than what Jimmy G played today when we're talking about a Jimmy G standard. Only missed 4 passes. Granted, hey, he had 2 passes that could have been picked off, but that's the Jimmy G we know and some love and some hate. He's going to throw a few passes like that every game, but he had some great throws today. Kittle, McCaffrey, and he was spreading the ball all around. Brandon Ayuk, 6 targets, 6 catches, 100% accuracy. That's a pretty good day for Jimmy G in my book.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo had himself a day today, right? Didn't throw an interception, had a great completion percentage, obviously made a lot of good decisions getting the ball out to Christian McCaffrey and when the pocket was collapsing. And he had a great throw to Ross Dwelly, right? I was like, oh my goodness, is he going to overthrow this? Like, whoa, like, please, Jimmy.
Or is he not even going to see him?
Yeah,
because
or is he
sometimes
not
we
even
see
gonna? Yeah,
receivers
yep,
streaking wide open and Jimmy misses
yep.
them. But luckily, hey, he saw Ross. That was a great point of me.
I don't want to call it great, though, because, again, he hung that ball up like a punt, like he tends to do. Had he not done that, it would have been an easy TD. But it was great in terms of him seeing and him throwing the ball that direction. I get that.
It was great in terms of, Jimmy Garoppolo finding that deep receiver down the field or deep tight end in Ross Dwelly and putting in a place where Dwelly could go and make a play on it. And I mean, overall, Jimmy Garoppolo just had himself a good game. And this is the Jimmy Garoppolo that we need on a consistent basis. If we want the 49ers and if the Niners want to be a Super Bowl contending team or contenders this year, this is the Jimmy Garoppolo that we need, especially when you're a team like the 49ers and you deal with so many injuries. If you have Jimmy Garoppolo play like this and the running game is going and the offense is, doing their thing and they're in rhythm and Jimmy Garoppolo basically is a good game manager on Sundays, this team can be a contender. And Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, what a great game by Jimmy Garoppolo. I think arguably one of his best games of the season, if not his best game of the season. So props to Jimmy Garoppolo. Played a hell of a game today. And Jimmy Garoppolo definitely deserves some credit for this win.
Yeah. I wanted to mention the touchdown passes to both of them.
And Kittle,
extremely impressive.
That was beautiful. That pass to Kittle, beautiful.
He had to roll left because that was a bit of improv. He had to roll left, threw it up high for Kittle where only he could get it. And then the pass to Christian McCaffrey, there was also improv there, right? Yep. Christian saw the space in the end zone, bolted up the sideline. Like that's not how the play was drawn up. And honestly, like when you're talking improv, that's not a strength necessarily. At least I wouldn't consider it a strength of Jimmy Garoppolo. But today, he showed that maybe this is something he's getting better at. He's working on it. And I just loved what I saw from an improvisational standpoint.
Yep. I want to get to Bay Area Sports Podcast question and go check out his channel, another Niner content creator. So go check out his channel at Bay Area Sports Podcast. Name is right there. So go check out his channel. Go check him out. Type it on YouTube, search bar, Bay Area Sports Podcast. Go check him out if you haven't already. But, oh, wait, I pulled off his question. My bad. But do you think CMC should play kick and punt returner? No.
I don't.
No way. Ray Ray's doing well. Risky. I think Ray Ray's doing well.
Too risky. Ray, I'll say this, right? Ray has some decent returns. But sometimes I'm like, Ray, like, you got to call a fair catch or you got to let the ball just go into the end zone. Like, it feels like every single play or every single kick return or punt return, he'll take off with it. Like, he'll take off with it. There was one play where there was one, like, kickoff where or punt where it was, like, at the 10-yard line or inside the 5-yard line. And he went off it. And he caught it and he went off it.
Yeah, you're thinking maybe let it go. It'll go into the end zone. Yeah. But sometimes it's hard to judge because the gunner on the other team might be able to down it at the 2 or 3. So it's one of those risks. You let it go. Is a Ram there to down it inside the 5? So, but I know what you mean. It felt like it could have been a touchback.
Yep.
I was gonna say back to the Dwelly touchdown. I need to go back and compare the two plays, but was that the same play that we ran against Seattle where Dwelly was wide open, or was it something completely different?
My memory ain't that good.
I know. That's why I brought it up. I thought one of you guys may have known, but
no. But to answer his question, no. I mean, when you trade for a guy like CMC, who's already had injuries in his past, putting him in that spot when you already have Aaron McLeod, who's doing a good job. I mean, if he gets hurt doing that, I mean, that's tough, right? And I just think it's too big of a risk to make him play kick and punt returner, put him in that spot. So
we gave him too many picks to put him at risk like that.
Yeah.
He was sensational today, though. He was
phenomenal, and we'll get to him. But I want to ask you a little side question about Jimmy Garoppolo's performance today. Is this the best game by Jimmy this year?
Easily the best game in the second half, that's for sure. Easily his best second half game. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's probably one of his best games of the season. I think it's up there, especially doing it against the Rams. I mean, the last 2 times we saw him not throw an interception was obviously against the Rams on Monday night, but then it was against the Panthers, right? Which the Panthers aren't great. They're rebuilding. They obviously fired Matt Rule, but to do that against the Rams at Levi's South, I mean, and have a great completion percentage, I think Jimmy Garoppolo arguably played one of his best games of the season, especially the throws that he made today, like the George Kittle pass, the red zone. I was like, wow, Jimmy. That Christian McCaffrey throw I thought was also great. I mean, phenomenal catch by Christian McCaffrey. There's not a lot of backs that can make a catch like that in the red zone like Christian McCaffrey did. So props to Jimmy. I think Jimmy Garoppolo played a great game, and I think you could make an argument that this possibly could have been Jimmy Garoppolo's best game of the season.
I'll be honest, on that Christian McCaffrey play, I was freaking out. I thought it was going to be a sack or the ball's going to go out of bounds. Go ahead, Jay.
But I was going to say, this was a huge game for the 49ers. Obviously, if they would have lost, they would not have been, missing out on the playoffs or anything, or their playoff future would not have been in jeopardy. But this was a division opponent. I'm glad we put them away. It was a tough game. I was nervous. I don't know about you guys, but I was definitely nervous in the first half. The Rams were moving the ball up and down the field. So, yeah, Jimmy played one of his best games when we absolutely needed a win, I think, for fan morale, team morale. But, yeah, hey, props to Jimmy tonight.
Yep, he definitely did his thing. Moving on, let's talk about the offense. I mean, the offense had themselves a day, and if you guys don't mind, I would like to start this one off. But I mean, the offense had themselves a day, right? And not even just the offense, but the defense as well. I mean, the first half, you started off slow. You got in the red zone. The Rams were really, I don't know how to put it. Like, the Rams were really utilizing the clock and was controlling the time of possession. And, we only had 2 drives leading up in, the start of the second quarter. But I mean, the offense is the thing. We made adjustments offensively. We made adjustments defensively. And one thing about this game that I really liked in particular was we've seen it in the past, right, where the Niners offense has a huge first half, where they're slow in the first half, and in the second half they even start off slow. They get a turnover and then they can't score, and then the other team kind of slowly puts up points and gets themselves back into the game. But this game, it was like if the Niners got a turnover, they made a stop on third down, the offense would go push the ball down the field, and they would go put up points for the Niners, right? Like, it felt like that, right? Where we got that stop, or we got that stop, and it was like, I think it was like 21-14, and the Niners put up points again. They go and score a touchdown, and then they get another stop, and they go and put up more points. I mean, it felt like the Niners offense was putting up points after points, and when they needed to, and the defense was getting stops, the Niners would convert and put up points on the board. So offensively, just a great job. I mean, your defense, obviously, they struggled in the first half, but they made their adjustments. But overall, I mean, great job by the offense. When they needed to put up points, they definitely did that. And they pretty much took the Rams out of the game with like 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like, they pretty much took the Rams out of the game. So great job by the offense. And the offense deserves a lot of credit for this victory.
Oh, yeah, big time. I mean, I thought Kyle Shanahan was in his bag.
He was in his bag.
We've been giving Kyle a lot of flack lately, and deservedly so. The offense had been lackluster the last few weeks, okay? But today, it was excellent. Shanahan was in a groove. The run game, the pass game, he's scheming up Ayuk open on these post routes, and just I thought Kyle was in his bag. The offense was clicking. I mean, the trick play, the double pass, Christian McCaffrey threw the TD pass to
Threw a
Brandon
dime, by
Ayuk.
the way. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Like, beautiful.
Excellent arc on that. Dropped it right in the bucket. So, Kyle, we had been giving him some flack, but hey, I'm off his back, at least through this bye week, because he did a hell of a job with this offense today.
Mm-hmm.
People are calling for Kyle to be fired. Some people might still be calling for it. I just think it's like, I know we lost certain games that we had no business losing, and the Chiefs game was kind of a toss up. I didn't expect us to look that bad against them, but I'm sure, Kyle, people were saying that Kyle wasn't good at coming back in the second half when his team is down, and the numbers were showing, the record was showing, proving that. So he had something to prove today, and Jimmy had something to prove today in the second half as well from that big deficit. So hats off goes off to him. And so great that we did not sustain any injuries today, I believe. And as far as offense, one we didn't necessarily dominate in time of possession, but it was almost even. I mean, it was like 8-second differential between the Rams having more time, time of possession than us. So, which is fine. And the first half, I noticed that our rushing yards was really low in the first half, and we ended up getting 111 yards as compared to the Rams 56. So that helped us control the ball a lot more in the second half, without a doubt.
I think this game was a perfect combination of football with the 49ers. This was football. I'm trying to think of the word. I can't think of it. It'll come to me.
Complementary football.
Exactly. Complementary football. One thing that was different that we saw today compared to the past 2 weeks was the 49ers defense was actually able to get stops in the second half. If you look at, I'm sure we'll talk about the defense later, so I won't go that much into it, but basically 49ers defense gave the ball back to the 49ers offense, and a few possessions the 49ers had in the second half were 3 touchdowns. And I was like, who is this team? Who is this head coach? I'm not used to seeing this 49ers offense do anything in the second half. So that was a pleasure to see. I was surprised by that. But this is complimentary football. The 49ers defense does this job. Now they put pressure on the 49ers offense, and this offense came to life. And I think obviously the catalyst for it is CMC. I mean, he was excellent today. He had basically a record-setting day, a history-making day. Rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown, passing touchdown hadn't been done since 2005. And the first time it's been done in the 49er uniform. So I think the trade paid off. That's for sure. And I was definitely happy to see this 49ers offense, do well and score. And I think the sky is the limit. Hopefully we can keep it up. Hopefully this is not a one-hit wonder. Hopefully we can make this a trend with the 49ers offense being aggressive in the second half.
Yep.
Our host is back.
Yeah, I don't know. Like my camera was acting up, so like I had to like refresh the page and then come back. My camera, for whatever reason, was acting up on me.
Wait, was it kind of like flickering or something like that?
It's flickering, and then it became like, even though like it became a little bit like, for whatever reason on my screen, it's like a little bit orange or whatever. Like,
on my end, it looked fine, but I noticed for me sometimes, like, I don't know if it's StreamYard, but mine will be flickering, and then
sometimes mine does that too.
And I'll click on YouTube, or I'll watch it after the fact, and it looks perfectly fine. But it freaks me out when I'm going live with because that's what I see.
It must be a StreamYard issue, because mine has been doing that recently. But it'll flicker a few minutes or a few seconds, and then it'll stop and go back to normal. So
yeah,
I thought your battery died off or something. Remember one time we did that one stream where your laptop battery died and you had to run around the house looking for the charger. Remember that, Amin?
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. I was like scrambling. I was scrambling like Lamar Jackson, looking this way. Like I'm like, all right, where is it? I literally left the room that I stream in. I'm looking in my room. I'm looking in the living room, and then I come back and I'm like, I give up. Like if my laptop dies on me and I see it on the floor in the room that I was streaming in, and I'm like,
it's always where you least expect it, man.
I'm like, oh, okay, it's right here. Like I was scrambling for nothing. But another positive outside of just the offense and the defense, I mean, no injuries? Like, wow. Like, I remember talking about it last week. Like, I was like, when was the last time I saw a 49ers game in the Shanahan and Lynch regime where someone hasn't gone down? And this week it happened. No injuries on the injury report. Like, I mean, like, it's great news. Like, I think it deserves applause. I think it's great. Like, nobody got hurt today.
I don't know if we should say that just yet, because I've noticed guys will come in the following Monday after a game and all of a sudden they have something. Like well, I guess Debo, that's not a good example. I think he got his hamstring kind of pulled up on him during the game, but we didn't really know as fans watching. It wasn't really announced till the following day, I believe. But you're right. As far as we didn't see anyone go out of the game, we didn't see anyone limp out of the game. There was no blue tint needed for the 49ers. Yeah. So on that aspect, yeah, that's a huge positive.
Mm-hmm. Waller.
That's great. I love it. Let's get even healthier. How about we somehow get Javon Kinlaw or Eric Armstead back after the bye? I think that would provide a huge boost. But hey, I'm happy. No more injuries for this game. Great.
Yep. Let's jump into some more positives before we jump into some negatives. But outside of just the offense and Jimmy Garoppolo, what were some other positives that you could take away from this game? If Jay, you could start this one off, Jay.
Sure. Other positives I could take away. Obviously, I think the CMC acquisition was like a godsend. He showed what he can do in all facets of the game. I would say the defense, I was surprised. Like, we all know Shanahan's record after halftime if the team is losing. And I was surprised by this defense. They were able to get to Matt Stafford. And we had struggled even in the first half. We had struggled getting off the field on third downs, and that pretty much changed in the second half. And I just want to give you guys a game summary, play-by-play, and this will be quick, of the Rams' second half possessions. First possession, 8 plays, 32 yards. They punted. Next possession, 3 plays, punt. Next possession, 6 plays, 3 yards, punt. Next possession, 3 plays, no yards. I mean, that's a picture perfect defensive performance in the second half. And kudos to D'Amico and the guys for adjusting. Obviously, the Rams were doing a lot of short passes in the first half, screen passes.
Yeah. I mean, that was their thing.
They used the 49ers' aggressiveness against them in the first half, and the 49ers changed up some things in the second half. So, yeah, kudos, obviously, to CMC and then the 49ers defensive staff making changes and the defensive players.
Baller.
Yeah. Yeah, the second half, I mean, just how we dominated that second half, kind of like Jay was just saying. I mean, we shut out the Rams. Rams didn't score a point after halftime, and we were down going into half. 49ers were down 14-10. I was a little bit nervous, but hey, my nervousness was soon eased after, we stopped them, scored a touchdown, and really just how we dominated. We scored 3 touchdowns in the second half, so that was extremely positive. Also, it'd be remiss if I didn't mention Nick Bosa. Thought Nick Bosa was phenomenal. He had another sack today. He was pressuring Stafford on a couple other occasions. So Nick Bosa, I mean, that's our big stud, the big bear on the D line. He showed up, and yeah, I'll kick it to Bashar.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to have a game with no turnovers. There was a scare that we had, I think, one time where Christian McCaffrey fumbled it, and then the ball flies in the air, and Ray McLeod's on his back and makes a perfect catch to save the McCaffrey fumble. Earlier in the game, there was that one play, and I just thought the officiating was really crappy in the first half. Like, they were calling all kinds of crap on our DBs, and that one, I swore that one play where they threw it to McCaffrey, I believe, and they said, and then he had fumbled it. And then when we recovered it at like the 1, I thought that was a completely catch and a fumble. That's, I saw it play like twice. I stared at the ball, and that's what I thought. But they replayed it and said it wasn't. But in any case, either way, we had recovered that one too. And there were some people on my little 49er chat on Facebook like, oh no, does this guy Christian McCaffrey have a fumbling problem or something? So, but regardless, we didn't turn the ball over, which was cool. And we finally, back to McCaffrey, we finally had because last week a lot of people were pissed, and Matt said the reason why we lost is because we didn't give McCaffrey the ball enough. And I was like, well, he did get 10 touches if you count the rushing and receiving total. That's pretty good. 10 touches is pretty damn good for somebody who just hopped on the team 2 days ago, but people were still mad that we didn't use him enough. So, heck, what did he get the ball? He touched the ball like 21 times today total. No, actually, no, 26. The most he touched the ball all year long. His season high with the Panthers was 21. So we gave the ball 26 times. So just great. Again, just nice to see our offense. Hopefully we can continue the trend and, put up, play better in the second half of games like we did today. So.
Yep. I mean, overall, the whole team played great, right? Special teams, defense, offense. I mean, even Kyle Shanahan post game in the locker room, like they put out the video where he was like, all phases of the game, everybody was great. And I agree, right? This was a complete team win. It wasn't like, all right, the defense really carried or the offense really did. Like, everybody did their part, and this was a complete team win, and everybody did their part. Special teams, offense, defense. Overall, this was a great game, and I mean, this is what we want from the 49ers, right? Overall, defense doing their thing, offense stepping up, making plays, special teams doing their job. I mean, overall, it was just a great game by the whole team, and the whole team deserves a lot of credit for this win. This is, I think, the first Niners team win of the whole season, instead of the defense carried this game and the defense limited or the offense did something. Like, this was a complete team win. Everybody played great, and I love the adjustments coming into the second half, right? Before the second half started, the adjustments on the defense, blitzing or blitzing Matthew Stafford, or offensively, running the football more and just doing just making the adjustments that the Niners made was just great overall. And one thing that I love, especially taking Cooper Kupp out of that game in the second half. I mean, you took Cooper Kupp out of that game for majority of that second half, maybe until end of the fourth quarter. Cooper Kupp kind of started getting more touches and different things like that. But overall, the adjustment that Miko made on just neutralizing or limiting Cooper Kupp in the second half as much as he could, I mean, that was great. And especially those screen passes, just taking away the screen passes. I mean, that was the thing that the Rams were. A lot of the time, the Niners would be aggressive. They would blitz, and Matthew Stafford would just get a screen pass off. He would dump it off to his running back, and then the drive continues for the Rams. But I mean, just overall, great adjustments offensively, great adjustments defensively, and as a team, the Niners really played great, and this was a team win. So great job to the team. Everybody did their part, and that's why the Niners won this week.
I want to say
real quick.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say real quick. Got to mention Fred Warner led the team in tackles.
Yep,
he was flying all over the field. I love seeing Fred play. He's always intense. Always brings the passion. And since Debo was out, I was a little concerned. Well, who would bring that emotional leadership on the offensive side of the ball? Since Debo was out, obviously we know what he can bring on the field. But I love seeing him and his teammates come out of the tunnel. But I think CMC kind of took up that role, at least with his productivity on the field. Go ahead, Bashar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's kind of part of what you said. But the best thing about the win, in my opinion, was, before the game started, we were hearing, Kyle Juszczyk's going to be out. Debo's going to be out. Juwan Jennings is going to be out, and we're like, oh no, how are we going to win this game? But, we made it happen. We were able to make up for it in other parts with other parts of the team and other players. And we didn't necessarily have to step up and have a big game, from, whoever's the other receiver that was going to take out. I believe we activated Willie Snead, and I don't know if Danny Gray played, but just we found other ways to make it happen, even despite the fact that those guys were gone.
Yeah, this game reminded me of old Fred Warner, right? Before he got that contract, when he was flying around having like 11 tackles per game, 11, 12 tackles per game. I mean, this game reminded me of Fred Warner before he got that contract extension, young, hungry. And I mean, Fred Warner still all of those things, right? He's hungry. He's one of the best linebackers in the league. But this game, I mean, you notice Fred Warner. If you were watching that football game, you notice Fred Warner making plays numerous times and making stops numerous times for the Niners. So Fred Warner definitely had himself a day today. I want to get your thoughts on Mike McGlinchey. I mean, this is kind of divided in the Niner fan base, and I kind of know what Jane the Bay will say. I have a feeling what Jay and the Bay will say, and I feel like Baller and Bashar a little bit might disagree. But I know what Jay and the Bay might say about Mike McGlinchey. But there's a little bit of a divide on Twitter when it comes to Mike McGlinchey. Some people are saying he's been pretty good. I mean, there's days like today where he's been bad. The Kansas City game, he was not bad, but he struggled at times, and even that Kansas City game. But it's a little bit mixed. The Niner fan base is a little bit mixed on Mike McGlinchey. Some people like him and say he's all right. This is his best season. Maybe like Jay and the Bay. And then there's some people, that are like, Mike McGlinchey should be gone. He ain't all that. Like, Mike McGlinchey is a weak link of this offensive line on the offensive line. But what's your overall thoughts on Mike McGlinchey's performance this whole season? What did you think of him today in specific? And do you think the Niners will bring him back next year? Let's start off with Jay. Let's start off with Jay on this one.
Jay in the Bay.
Double M. Hey, Mike McGlinchey, I think he is probably one of the best right tackles in the NFL. I think that kind of tells you the state of the right tackles in the NFL. He is in the last year of his contract, last year of his rookie deal.
Hey, we got Rich in the building. Hey,
what's good, Rich?
What's
Hey
up?
man, I contemplated hopping on because I didn't want to like kind of ruin anything. You know what I'm saying? But
no, man, the more the merrier.
Hey, I'm
the
here,
more the
man.
merrier.
Hey, I had some great guests over, man, kind of unexpectedly, man. So great job, Amin, stepping up, the Straight Out of the Bay crew, holding it down.
Can I say something real quick? Sorry to interrupt you, Rich, but the Lakers won a game. Let's go. Let's go. We won a game. All right. Let's go Lakers. Yeah.
Hell
We
no.
got 2 W's today. I mean,
I feel like I just won a championship. That's how bad it's been watching the Lakers here. Like I feel like we just won the chip.
But I think the Niners might have a better record than the Warriors right now, huh? Wait, hold on.
The Warriors have been struggling, but like the Warriors,
they don't even care right now, though. I mean.
Yep. Hey, Baller, I've
Hey.
been seeing you on Krug Show lately, man. I've been seeing you on the Krug Show lately. I'll tap her on the Krug Show and I'll be like, whoa, that's Baller. Wait, he on here.
Hey,
Croup
I'm
and
having
Kite.
some fun. Yeah, shout out the crew show.
Yeah.
No, but back to the best right tackle in the NFL. Just kidding. Mike McGlinchey, I think he's solid. Like he's not worthy of Trent Williams, generational wealth money. He's not worthy of that. Is he the worst right tackle in the NFL? No. But if there's 40 to 45 offensive snaps, McGlinchey, he gonna do good in about 40 to 42. And then when it's a 3rd and 10, you really need McGlinchey to hold the fort down. He doesn't do it. And that's what's really frustrating about McGlinchey. We know in football that the low man wins. And McGlinchey, I think he's 6'6", 6'7".
He looks
the
6'8"
guy gets
to me.
under his pads and bull rushes him. He gets pushed back into the quarterback. So I think McGlinchey, we got to give him credit. He's going out there. Obviously, he's hurt. You could tell. But he's giving it his all. Do I want him to be a 49er next year? I think that's debatable because I could see the Niners bringing him back, but maybe bringing in someone to possibly replace him. I don't know if that replacement is on the roster now. I don't know. We'll see. But I think McGlinchey is serviceable. He's serviceable. That's what I'll say. And I won't be surprised if he's not here next year. And I won't be surprised if he's back here on a 1 or 2 year team-friendly Parag Marathe deals. We know Parag loves to work those numbers. He loves to get guys on team-friendly deals. I won't be surprised if that happens as well.
I gotta say, shout out to the hair, 49er minded.
Halloween, baby.
Shout out to I was like, maybe that's, I don't know if you wore it earlier, but maybe that's the, some good luck for the 49ers.
I was wearing it on the previous post-game shows. I figured Amin liked what he saw, so he wanted me to do it on this one. So I couldn't let
Bashar Ross.
Yeah, Bashar Ross.
I want to talk about McGlinchey. I'm somebody, if you guys heard my conversations with people that I know in my circle of Niner friends, or I got in arguments where I was yelling and screaming at the top of my lungs trying to defend the guy. I'm talking like the first year we had him, the second year, third year, whatever. But at one point, McGlinchey was arguably the best run blocker in the NFL. I'm not seeing that anymore, honestly. Correct me, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. He was always a little sketchy on the pass blocking, but and before, I just always thought he was pretty solid where he wasn't that bad of a pass blocker, but the one play that he would mess up on, it would stand out like a sore thumb, and people would make it sound like he's the worst left tackle in the history of the NFL. Man, I just thought the way people reacted to him was a bit exaggerated. But now I'm seeing it on a more consistent basis where, like, when Chris Jones freaking bull rushed him in that Chiefs game, and it's just a lot of plays where he's just messed up. And there was one play on Twitter, I'm not sure if I retweeted it, but that Floyd guy, I mean, it was so bad where actually I have it right here on Twitter. If you want to share, I can put in the private chat. I mean, because it was so bad on this play. I mean, he literally didn't even bother to let the guy, he didn't even bother to put a hand on the guy or push him or whatever.
On that play, he, for whatever reason, he lost track of the guy. Like, he was expecting someone off the snap. He was expecting someone to rush, and then no one did. So he took his eyes from the defender to the left. And then his defender rushed in. So I don't know what he was doing on that play.
That was really bad. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know who else we could really get now. I mean, I want to move on from him. I just want to move on from the simple fact that I think we could do a lot better. And sure, if he wants to stick around for a team friendly deal as a backup, but I just want somebody else as a starter when it comes to next season. And on top of that, supposedly he wasn't so supportive of Trey Lance. So if he's one of those guys, I can care less if he's a Niner next year, to be honest with you.
Rich, you can go next, Rich.
Yeah, man, Mike McGlinchey. It reminds me, I think there was a play versus Dallas. I think it was 2020, where it was on an Ayuk touchdown, like a 2-yard touchdown. And someone pointed it out, and I went back and watched it, and they were like, dude, you're going to die laughing. But he almost did like a 720. Like, he was playing, like, completely whiffed on something, tried to get to the next, whiffed on it again. It's like he juked him. And we see these things for Mike McGlinchey, whether it's having a brain fart, not knowing what's coming. And we've seen it multiple times this year where it's like there's a dude completely running free because he's trying to dictate or guessing, or maybe he's just, I don't know, maybe it's how tall I don't know. It's kind of unexplainable, but I think because of getting Charvarius Ward, that'll be probably the next upgrade. Will be to get a strong, hopefully it's a right guard. Who knows how much longer Trent Williams got, but hopefully that's the next piece. It feels like the Niners, are doing this brick by brick mentality on piecing it all together at every level, and that should be the next place to upgrade for sure is right tackle. So. It is funny, though. It is funny unless you're the quarterback and turnovers are happening. I'm just in a really good mood. I didn't get to express all the love I could pour out to Jimmy or Kyle, and 21 points in the second half victory, no turnovers. I mean, CMC, I think I looked at it before it happened, right before he what was it, catch the touchdown? What's the last thing he did? Right before he ran in the touchdown. I think it's been 3 times ever since the NFL merger happened, but 11 times altogether in NFL history. Something like that has happened. So, I mean, when things like that happen, I love it in sports, whether it's a perfect game in baseball, a no-hitter, I root for it, even if it's not on the Niners. If I see someone about to do 20 straight completions or break an NFL record, I'm all for it, rooting for it. We just so happen to the 49ers just so happened to get something like that on their team, which is just super cool. Hecka dope. CMC pulled it off, the little triple crown, which is, kind of when you break it down, one of the more rare things you could do in all of sports. I mean, I think a ton of, I don't know how many perfect games have been pitched in baseball, but hey, man, props to that, man. Props to, hopefully it could continue that spark. That's what we were wishing for before the Kansas City game. Hopefully it stays ignited. We see the discipline, no turnovers. And Jimmy, I'm not going to lie. When he threw that pass to Kittle, the first thing my mind thought of was the first touchdown pass he ever threw versus Seattle. It was at the very end of that game.
Yeah, I remember that. I saw that a couple weeks ago. Yep.
That pass reminded me of that pass. And I was like, man, that was deja vu right there. So, I'm not going to get on this hype of, hey, I hope Jimmy can do this or do that. But hey, if we could see this form of Jimmy being consistent, you don't got to be great. It's like just don't turn the ball over, and that does put us in that conversation back to, hey, we could really pull, this is the Jekyll and Hyde of the 49ers. One week it's we have no chance. The next week it's, hey, if you can do that, we do got a chance. We could beat anybody, lose to anybody. I'm sorry for ranting on and on and on, but yeah, I'm excited, man. And McGlinchey gotta go at some point.
Bashar Ross fixing his hair over there on the top of the screen. Bashar Ross out here fixing his hair. Let's pull up the McGlinchey clip. Let's pull up the McGlinchey clip.
There you go.
Let's see. Let's pull it up. All right. Let's see. Am I sharing my screen? Let's see this. All right. It's the first time doing this ever.
You got
All right.
this.
Let's do this. Let's see.
Floyd again come off
All
the
right,
edge. He kind of looked like he was going to drop, and they lost eyes on him.
All right, no. All right, no.
Floyd again come off the edge. He kind of looked
McGlinchey has no idea what he's doing.
Aaron D. Floyd again.
He's lost. Look at that. Look at that.
He kind of looked like he was going to drop.
He like turns around. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's too late by the time we turn around.
He's like, oh wait, Leonard Floyd is sacking my quarterback. Oh, damn. Oh,
I know, but look how far away Leonard Floyd is. It almost looks like he's guarding like a slot receiver. So I think that's kind of what
it
kind of
remind me
looked like he was going to drop, and they lost.
He had a
he
brain
was-
fart.
It's like he was the bodyguard.
He kind of looked like he was going to drop, and they lost eyes on him.
Dude, I'm gonna have that loop of that audio stuck in my mind for the rest of the night now.
Hey, if y'all want, I think the one in Dallas is worse and funnier. But if you guys go check out the touchdown pass that Ayuk caught versus Dallas in 2020, I'm sure you can find it somehow, some way. But it's hilarious, man. It's like, how does that even happen? It's one of those kind of plays. But he's been known for this, It's just he's gonna have those couple of times where it's gonna, and hopefully that doesn't result to injury one day or something, because then it would be a whole different story, I think.
yep. I mean, with Mike McGlinchey, the thing about McGlinchey is that I think he has a lot of good games. And kind of like Jay and DeBay mentioned, right? There'll be like out of like 40 to 45 snaps, right? He'll have a lot of snaps where he's good, right? And there'll be like those occasional times where you're like McGlinchey. It'll be like a 3rd and 10, or it'll be like a second and 8, or something like that. And then McGlinchey will allow a sack, and you're like McGlinchey, like you. And then Niners fans will be like, McGlinchey sucks, da 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 da. Like McGlinchey, what are you doing? Like McGlinchey, how could you let that happen? Like are you blind, McGlinchey? Like they'll be sending insults at McGlinchey all over Twitter. And I mean, I definitely probably would want another option next year. I would prefer another option next year. I wouldn't mind bringing McGlinchey back next year, but would I like to see someone different at the right tackle spot? Potentially a better pass blocker, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all, but McGlinchey, he's solid. He's all right, right? And like kind of like Jay mentioned, I don't think he's, an elite right tackle, or like, in the Trent Williams category or anything like that, but is he all right? Yeah, he's all right. He'll have his occasional good plays. Now his bad plays are probably sometimes head scratching at times, but he's all right. He's solid, right? He's solid. That's basically what I could say about Mike McGlinchey, is that he's solid. But I wouldn't mind if the Niners brought in someone else next year to replace Mike McGlinchey. I wouldn't mind.
Just to throw my 2 cents on it, I mean, it comes down to price. All right. If we can get McGlinchey back at, around like 10 mil, which I feel like would be a solid deal. But I'm not paying 16, 18 mil for Mike McGlinchey to be my right tackle.
Yeah.
Yep. Me
Hey,
neither.
what draft pick was he again? The number 10?
First round. I think it was number 10.
Ninth. I think it was 9th. It was
Number 9. I remember that draft, and I remember thinking about
who went before? Quentin Nelson.
Quentin
Nelson. He went right.
And I was
he went
just,
3 picks
I was
before.
thinking about Quentin Nelson, and I was just like, "There's no." Hey, I understand they played together, but this dude, Mike McGlinchey, is not no Quentin Nelson. Like, I know we all kind of hoped that, and he's definitely not that. He's definitely has not. I'm pretty sure, performed at the level that they were hoping for sure.
Yeah, he was selected at 9. Man, I'm like, I was checking Twitter right now, and like I got a Twitter notification, and someone put on like Michael Jordan when he first won his championship Like when he's putting his head down, he was crying. They were like, Lakers won the first game. Lakers fans right now. And it was a picture of Michael Jordan crying on the championship trophy after his first finals win. I mean, my goodness, it does kind of feel like that because I would just like it's a great day. It's a great day for me. Okay,
Great day
Niners
in
won.
You brought this up
Lakers
multiple times
won.
already. I mean,
I'm 2-0 right now. I'm 2-0. It feels great. It feels great.
In regards to Quentin
feels great,
Nelson,
baby.
he wasn't a scheme fit for Shanahan, and there's no way Shanahan would draft a guard that high. No way.
Yeah.
really, I thought Quentin Nelson was one of those guys that could have played in any scheme. Though he just looked amazing coming out of Notre Dame.
Isn't Indianapolis scheme a lot of run first? Like look at Jonathan
I
Taylor
don't know if
last year.
I don't know
Right?
if there's zone or power. I'm not sure.
I don't know if there's zone or power, but I know Quentin Nelson had a huge part in that run game being successful last year. So
And there's no
Yeah.
doubt he's probably one of the best offensive guards to come out of the draft, probably in the last 20, 30 years.
yeah.
Easy. But I just can't see Shanahan spending a top 3 pick to pick a guard. Yeah, there's no way he would do that. I don't think there's any way he would do that.
I'll say this though, anybody, I'm surprised people had on Quentin Nelson expectations for McGlinchey because even coming out of college, McGlinchey was good in college, but they were just two completely different players, and it was kind of unfair for anybody to pin that on McGlinchey. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's move on to the negatives. I mean, there's not that many negatives, but if you guys have any negatives, you can start out. I want to start off with Rich because obviously he showed up a little bit late. So let's start off with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Rich. What's your thought? What are some of the negatives in this game?
Might not have no negatives. Oh, hey, we just went over McGlinchey, but I mean, it's everything I hoped for like kind of happened. So it's just more and more positive for me. That's just the way I kind of see it. I did not see probably the first like what was it 7 minutes of the game. So unless something major happened in those first 7 minutes, like and I went back and tried to watch, I kind of pieced together some of it, but I wasn't like just super in tuned like that. But I'm just going through my memory, and I was just so juiced up that we were able to score those 21 points in the second half. I mean, I was just super juiced up on, I'm trying to think, was there any real huge, it doesn't feel like there was besides
No,
a couple
there
of
really
sacks.
wasn't.
There
There really
really,
wasn't.
yeah, man, I'm just like proud. I'm proud, everything I've been complaining about and bitching about. It's, you know what I'm saying? They kind of, when they do good, heck yeah, I want to praise my team. I want to praise them. Jimmy did well. Hey,
Are you okay with Kyle now?
Huh?
Are you okay with Kyle now?
Hey, if he keeps
Yeah,
on,
we solid.
man,
solid
I'm
right now.
always
Yeah.
gonna feel a certain kind of way, man. That's just who, you know what I'm saying? That's just who I am. Hey, if he can continue to show growth and not just behind W's, I don't know. It's just if this team shows that same kind of fire and finishes off strong, then okay. It's it is what it is.
Keltz,
If we
you
could see
have
that
to respect-
consistency, huh?
You have to respect Kyle Shanahan, man. You need to bow down and kiss that NFC championship ring. You have to respect Kyle Shanahan for his leadership. His leadership is the reason why the Niners won today. His leadership.
Yeah, man. There's only one man I will ever look at, man. There's only one man ever in my whole entire life that I will ever bow down to, my man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if y'all seen that little sticker, man, but
I saw it,
yeah,
man. I
man.
respect it. Hey,
Yeah,
one
man.
negative I have is Burford on the line. He allowed Aaron Donald pressure.
Oh, yeah.
and basically
He had
because
one bad
He
one.
was
and
looking
yeah.
one way.
I guess
he was looking
forgot
one way.
the snap count. It looked
Yeah.
like he forgot the snap count. Center hiked the ball. He was still looking back for whatever reason. And then by the time the snap was off, Aaron Donald was in the backfield. So that was one negative I saw.
Yeah, I think there was some bad luck there, Jay. I feel like interior linemen, sometimes they'll look at the center to kind of see when they snap it, and that's when they'll go off. Well, when he looked at the center had just snapped it, and it just kind of threw off his timing. And so Donald got the jump on him, which, it did lead to the sack, and that sure wasn't a positive. But the negative that I want to put out there is the 3 safety look, like I know Tayshaun Gibson was making some plays early on in the season, but the 3 safety look, I'm kind of ready to get away from that because it's been exploited with some mismatches. Teams will get Tayshaun Gibson lined up one-on-one with a receiver, and today it happened with Allen Robinson. Actually, initially, Gibson had lined up over Cooper Kupp, and then Jimmy Ward came in, and Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson were right next to each other. And Jimmy Ward said, "Nah, bro, here, you get Robinson. Let me get Kupp," because he realized that would be an even greater mismatch if Gibson had been on Kupp. But Allen Robinson torched Gibson for like a 20-yard catch. And I'm just like, that's a mismatch I think you want to avoid. So at some point, I'm thinking let's put Jimmy Ward back at his safety position. And I know we're banged up at corner, and that's kind of probably why we're doing more 3 safety looks. But Quantrez Knight, I know, he was hyped up in some practices and in training camp. Maybe he gets a look in some kind of, dime position when we need extra DBs out there, or Dante Johnson. Because I'm almost at that point where, I liked what Gibson did, but the 3 safety look, I don't know. He's been torched a few times in man-to-man coverage.
I mean, Bashar Ross, any negatives for this game, Bashar Ross? I know you're a really positive person, you like to paint and all, and you're always smiling and everything, but any negatives in this game, Bashar
I've been
Ross?
called the hater a lot this season, by the way. Just to let you know, I don't know. So I'm not even sure what I am anymore.
Bashar Ross with a negative attitude this year?
I know, right? Who would have thought? Any negatives? Early in the game, I would say obviously there's a couple. Obviously there was some stupid penalties by the DB. Some of them were kind of wishy-washy, but maybe had we played a better team, that would have killed us a lot more. And I just thought the pass rush kind of got off to a slow start. I'm not sure if I said that earlier, but other than that, I'm not going to really complain too much because overall, I like what I saw.
Yep. Overall, it was a great game, right? On all sides, on all 3 phases. I would say some of the negatives that I have are one negative was really the penalties in the beginning of the game. I felt like in the beginning of the game there was some penalties, and which we saw, and it was kind of 5 to 6 penalties starting off the game, and I'm like, all right, great, we have this holding call, we have this pass interference or whatever. So early on in the game, I would say some of the penalties. Another, not necessarily a negative, but something that I've noticed over the past couple of weeks is that Talanoa Hufanga sometimes misses tackles, and that's just with every player on the team, not just Hufanga. The sometimes Hufanga will just miss easy tackles. I'm like, you could have got that one. You could have had that one. I mean, but to be fair, everybody misses tackles on the team, so occasionally misses tackles on the team, so can't really knock Hufanga for that. But overall, it was a clean game, and I liked what I saw from the Niners today. And in the second half, it was a much cleaner game, less penalties, defense dominated, made adjustments. So really happy about this game overall. I mean, going into the bye week, this is if we were going into the bye week any way, this is the way I would want us to go into the bye week. So I'm really happy. Yep. Moving on to the last topic before we jump into our game predictions. And if you don't know 49er Minded, the Straight Out of the Bay crew, we do game predictions. The upcoming week, we do game predictions.
Oh, I saw that. You guys do that.
And we have our records. My record ain't all right now. I picked the Seahawks wrong. I picked the Giants, where the Seahawks are just stupid. I'm kind of becoming a Geno believer. I should have been already on the Geno train, but I mean, man, Geno Smith and the Seahawks, they're first in the NFC West still. I mean, the Niners got the W, but they still first out here. But the last question before we jump into our game picks is, are the 49ers still Super Bowl contenders? I mean, we saw, some inconsistent weeks. We've seen them beat the Rams, numerous times before, but are the 49ers still Super Bowl contenders? Did this game, show you anything or made further confirm that the 49ers are Super Bowl contenders in any of your guys' opinion? Let's start off with Rich once again because he showed up late, so let's go on with our man Rich.
Man, it feels like, how could I say this the best way I could say it? It's like they could lose to anybody, they could win to anybody. All you need is a ticket to get in. Feels like the most probable team that out of the NFC that could make it to the Super Bowl, but then it almost feels impossible to win the Super Bowl. It's like that perfect storm. All we need is that ticket, and we show it feels like we could beat anybody. I know we got mollywopped by Kansas City, but if we're not turning the ball over and we are gelling and everything, and we're not shooting ourselves in the foot, playing undisciplined or, playing, undisciplined, it feels like we can beat anybody. So it makes me want to say yes, like we are Super Bowl contenders, but then it still seems like it would almost be a miracle to actually like pull it off and win a Super Bowl with, when you're starting to face those Pat Mahomes or Allen, or even if Brady gets on a hot streak. But then it feels like the path in the NFC is cool, like we could pull it off. But it feels like anybody else, it's like it just depends if we're healthy, hot, and hungry. If we're healthy, hot, and hungry at the end and everything is and we're rolling, we got a good formula. That leadership is really excelling and everybody's clicking on all cylinders and we're beating the brakes off of teams. I would say yes. It's like, yes, we're contenders. It'd feel like a miracle to pull it off, but miracles do happen. So stay tuned, faithful.
No, the 49ers are not Super Bowl contenders. Honestly, I don't even know if we're a playoff team. Playoff teams don't lose to Chicago, Atlanta, Denver. One game doesn't change everything. There's still issues with this team. Hopefully we get some guys back, but I'm not convinced all the way that the Niners are a playoff team. The talent is there. Can we build on this? And that'll be the question. But no, I don't think the Niners are Super Bowl contenders yet. I think we'll know in December, but as of right now, I don't even know if this team is a playoff team. We don't know which team we're going to get week to week. Hell of a win today, but no, we're not Super Bowl contenders.
The way I see it, the 49ers, we have the potential to be Super Bowl contenders. So for that reason, since we have I'm going to say yes. I mean, honestly, I think the Niners might be the second best team in the NFC, period, behind the Eagles. I know a couple other teams got more wins. The Vikings are 6-1. The Dallas is 6-2. The Giants got 6 wins. I feel like the Niners are better than all those teams. So with that being said, NFC feels a bit down. The Niners coming off a great win. We've been dominating the Rams, blew them out twice this season. The defense, I think the defense, when we get a little bit healthier, especially on the interior of the defensive line, let's get Eric Armstead back or Javon Kinlaw is what I'm hoping for, and that'll bolster us even further. So I'm gonna say yes. I think because as long as you're right, Jay, I'm not 100% sure we're making the playoffs, but if we do, I think we're dangerous with the weapons we got and the potential with this defense. So yes, Super Bowl contenders.
I want to see what's up to Shifty real quick. What's up, Shifty? I mean, he be doing the live play by plays. Go check out Shifty's channel if you haven't already. Shifty's 49ers talk. And before, let's do this after we get done with this topic. But I want to answer Bay Area Sports Podcast question. He asked this around like 30 minutes ago. I saw it for whatever reason. I didn't get to it, but I want to answer his question. I appreciate everybody who asked questions or comments in the chat. So I'm gonna answer his question. We're gonna answer his question after this. But Rashard Ross, do you think the 49ers are still Super Bowl contenders?
Well, currently they are not Super Bowl contenders at this point in time of the season. And Jay the Bay mentioned the roster. Talent-wise, yes, assuming we do get healthy, there's still that possibility. I think when they come back from the bye the next 4 weeks, after we play a 4-game stretch from that point onwards, we'll definitively tell us yes or no if we're a Super Bowl contender or not. And that also, and again, like Jay the Bay said, is I'm not sure. I agree with them. I'm not sure if this is a playoff team just yet. We should be with all the talent we have, but we have to do it on the field. So not yet, but we still have a shot to be one. So we'll see.
This team has the talent, right? So talent-wise, is this team a talented football team? Are they talented to compete in the Super Bowl and go up against these elite teams? Yes. But there's 2 issues with the Niners. One, injuries, right? Injuries with the Niners that they constantly deal with, like, time and time again, right? Obviously, we didn't have that many injuries today, but the Niners deal with injuries. And another thing with the Niners is that I mean, when you lose those games that they've lost this year, it's tough. It really has been tough. I mean, losing to the Bears, losing to the Broncos. This Niners team has been really inconsistent this year. It's been really inconsistent. You've had great weeks. You've had weeks where the offense has been horrible and horrendous. You've had games where the defense has been horrendous. It's been so up and down that, like, I don't know if I can call this team a Super Bowl contender. I don't even know if I can call this team a playoff team. Because even after this dominant win against the Rams, it didn't show me nothing. It didn't prove to me anything because I've seen it time and time again against the Rams. I've seen this team have hard weeks and then they bounce back and put up a 30 bomb against the Rams. I've seen it before last year when they lost to Arizona. I've seen it before. So them being the Rams, like, I'm happy the Niners are 4-4, but it really didn't they didn't prove anything to me personally by beating the Rams because I've seen it in the regular season 7 and now 8 times in a row in the regular season. The real test, like 49er Minded says, is these next 4 weeks. I mean, after the bye week, prime time Sunday Night Football, you got the Chargers, you got the Dolphins, you got the Saints. Like, you have some tough matchups coming up. So depending on how well the Niners do in those particular games, and if they, go 3-1 or something like that, or they have, 4-0 potentially, hopefully, I mean, that'll really, like, all right, are the 49ers the real deal? Are they Super Bowl contenders? That'll really show me that. Is the talent there? Yes. And I mean, even Greg Olsen said it in during the game where he's like, if the Niners play like this, like they played in the second half, this team is good enough to go and beat the Eagles or can go and compete against the Eagles. And I agree with that because the talent is there. If the Niners play like this and play at a high level, which they have shown they're able to do, this team can beat any team in the NFC. This team can be a Super Bowl contender. It just I haven't seen that consistency yet from this team this year, and the injuries that the Niners constantly get plagued with. So I don't know if I can definitively call this team a Super Bowl contender. I don't even know if I can definitively call this team a playoff team yet because of their inconsistencies and their injuries. Let's answer a Bay Area Sports Podcast question. I don't know if you're still in here, but we're going to get to your question. Should Jimmy Ward get his starting safety job back? He shouldn't lose it because of injury. Yeah, what's your thoughts on him playing nickel corner or, not playing his true position?
Scrap it. Jimmy Ward should not be playing slot corner. No way. Put him back at his natural position. Free safety.
I agree.
Yeah, I feel like they're just trying to improvise. I feel like the 49ers, they're banged up, so they're just trying to, instead of maybe using another linebacker, they're just trying to shoot, do something outside the box. They feel like Gibson's playing. It's like they want to have the best players on the field, but I agree with you guys. He should, play his natural position. You know what I'm saying? And turn Gibson into a linebacker if it's all that. If you want to keep all three of them on the field, like just switch the roles at least or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Keep him at a safety position. He was top 100 last year. I mean, even Jaquaski Tartt came out and said that he should playing his natural role. I mean, it's hard as a corner, right? Like, that's not his true position, and he also has the broken hand, right? So, like, him trying to go and guard a receiver with that broken hand, like, he only has one hand to utilize if he's trying to jam the receiver at the line, or, he only has one hand to do that. So, it's really hard, and I'd rather see Jimmy Ward at safety. So, yeah, I agree with the rest of the crew. I think he should be playing in his natural position, which is the safety position, which he's been playing at a high level the last couple of years when he was healthy. So, yeah, play him at his natural position. Anything you got to say about that, Bashar Ross? That's just gonna be your new name at this point. Whatever he puts on the hair.
What happened to the Notorious B.I.G. or something? What was that?
Oh no, it was. I think it was like Iranian B.I.G. or something like that. It was something like that. Yeah, it was Iraqi and B.I.G. That's what I used to call him.
Honestly, man, about Jimmy Ward, no, I did like what I saw from Gibson a lot. So I'll be honest. But who knows what we do? Maybe they alternate him with Gibson. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm not kind of indifferent on it, to be honest with you. But I'm ready for these picks.
This has been a weird season. I mean, Brunskill, you saw the Brunskill-Burford rotation, and now you're seeing, Jimmy Ward playing slot corner. So this has definitely been an interesting season. Shifty says, I think Ward will go back to safety once if Verrett can play outside. I agree with Keltz, though. Let's go into the game predictions of the week. I know it's Sunday. Like, it feels like Monday, but it's actually a Sunday. Let's talk about these upcoming games. Starting off with, in my opinion, the game of the week, which is the Rams versus the Buccaneers. I understand they don't have winning records. One's 3-4, one's 3-5. But who do y'all got winning this game?
I got the Rams.
Jay?
Hmm.
Keltz, you keeping track of this, Keltz?
Yeah, I'll put it down, man.
All right.
Sure.
Rams
What's that,
traveling
Rams?
all the way to Florida. Obviously, great accommodations, flying private, but that is a long flight. Hey, TB12, he's divorced. Maybe that'll help him play
He
better. I don't
wants
know.
that eighth ring. He wants another one.
I'm going to take the Buccaneers. I'm taking the Buccaneers to win at home.
Yeah, I'm with Jay. I'm gonna take the Bucks, and I'm seeing. I looked it up right now. The Bucks are 2.5 point favorites, and I like the Bucks. I think they're gonna win by more than 2.5. The Buccaneers played on Thursday night, so they call this the mini bye, is what they call it. So they got a little bit of extra rest. Rams got to travel cross country. The NFC South is a bit of a joke. The Atlanta Falcons are leading that division.
Wow.
But I would still put my money on the Bucks to somehow right the ship and come out on top. So I got him winning this game.
Keltz.
I'm going to flip this George Kittle card right now because I have no idea, man. I don't know who to pick on this one. I hope the Rams lose, but I'm going to flip this thing real quick. Bucks is heads. Yep, I'm going for the Bucks, man. Thank you, George Kittle card. That's the way. Hey, the NFL is crazy, man. And sometimes on some of these picks, I have no idea. I feel like it's definitely even right now.
Welcome
with
to
both
the
of these
club,
teams.
brother.
Give
got
me
the Bucks.
I want the LA Rams to lose, but give me the Los Angeles Rams. Sean McVay, that team gonna bounce back. Give me the Los Angeles Rams in this one.
You said that awful confident for being in last
Very
place.
confident.
Give me the
first
Los
it's the
Angeles-
Lakers. First it's the Lakers. Now it's the Lambs. Like, oh, please, man, we need some help.
I don't
here.
want them to win though. Like, I don't want them to win, but I think they get it done. Like, I don't expect McVay to have two bad weeks in a row. Appreciate Brian for tuning in. Appreciate that, Brian. Thank you for tuning in as always.
What's up, Brian? Hey,
What's our records, Keltz? What's our records?
How many has Brady lost in a row? Hasn't Brady lost a few games in a row now?
He has. He has been.
I wonder what's the most games he's lost in a row before, because this is kind of coming like
He's been a three-game win streak right now.
Someone's got to win this game, so it looks
I
like
want the Rams in this one. I think moving on to.
I'll let it be known at the end.
Moving on to prime time Sunday Night Football. We got the Titans versus the Chiefs. I think this is going to be a clean sweep. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Dum.
Oh, no, man. Please don't do it, Keltz. Don't do it.
Hey,
flip
man.
It.
Flip the Kittle.
I seen the Colts. I seen the Colts almost lose to the Raiders. Not the Colts. The Chiefs almost lost to the Raiders. The Chiefs lost to the Colts. You know what? I'm going to try to gain some ground, and I'm going to go Titans.
Ooh, that's bold. That's bold right there. Moving on to the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. I'm a Geno believer. Bring me on the train. I'm going with the Seahawks. I'm a Geno believer. I doubted Geno for 3 weeks now. 3 weeks, I'm like, nah, they're playing the Chargers. Nah, they're playing the Giants. Nah. Give me the Seahawks and Geno Smith. Stop doubting Geno Smith. He's the real deal this year.
Neither team wins. It's going to end in a tie.
Ooh.
The Bay. I think even though Geno Smith is looking a lot better and Seattle is doing pretty good, pretty decent with him playing better, I just, Cardinals are going to be coming off a loss. And I just see, for whatever reason, just it's that divisional vibe that I'm getting. I think Arizona's going to beat them.
All right.
I'm going to go Seahawks.
Rich?
Man, I kind of feel like what Bashar is saying, man, and but to not take no credit away from the dang Seahawks, I mean, Jesus Christ, they're a comeback team of the year or something, or from where everybody had them in the beginning of the year for this team to be doing this, it sucks to be seeing the Seattle doing this well, but maybe they won't get no Bryce Young like they were hoping for or whatever. But yeah, man, I think it's the NFL division game. I could really see the Cardinals pulling it off in a 20-17 type of game.
Brian says Lola tie. Moving on
A
to
tie.
moving on to a tie. The last game, second to last game, we got the Lions versus the Packers. Both teams are struggling, you could say, in a way. Lions are definitely fighting. The Packers are definitely fighting, but they lost also today. But who you got in this one?
Is that on me?
I think
Packers.
Jay. I got the Packers.
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 It's a divisional game. Sometimes these divisional games are even harder to predict.
What's up,
In which-
Corey?
Hey, what's up, Corey? Thanks for coming by.
Happy birthday, Corey. It was Corey's birthday yesterday.
Oh, happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday, my
Corey!
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
KD.
I might be giving one up, but I want you guys to try to gain some ground on me. So I'm gonna roll with the Lions.
God bless your
Oh.
soul. God bless your soul, Barry Baller.
Oh, you
Jared
switched.
Goff.
Uh-oh. Hold on, the Lions.
Yeah.
It's in Detroit.
All
That could be a huge difference.
God, man, this NFL is a trip this year, man. I don't think I remember it being like this, like this. Just
Parody.
yeah, man. I got the Packers. I don't know, just I can't see in Lambeau. Oh no, that
No,
would
it's in
that,
Detroit. It's in Motown.
it's in Detroit.
Motown.
Okay,
Motown.
that almost doesn't change it, but I was like, there ain't no way I could see the Lions winning in.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Just that would feel weird. I don't know what the
That
Lions'
would.
record is in Wisconsin, but it just feels like it would feels like the Lions just find a way to never lose outside of the dome, and they don't win too much in it either. So that's kind of sucks. But yeah, the Packers, man. I'm going Packers.
Jeez.
yeah, I'm going Packers as well. What about you, Bashar Ross?
Is that kind of like Rick Ross? I don't know, but
Bashar Ross, Rick Ross,
yeah, I'm coming out with my mixtape next week.
crisscross, flip
Oh,
flop.
crisscross.
Uh-oh.
I don't know
Friday
why.
Night Freestyle.
but I guess it's the first time I'm picking the Lions to win a game. Screw it, I'll pick the Lions.
Ooh. Last game of the night, Raiders versus the Jags. Little bit of an underrated matchup of the week. The Jaguars, they've been fighting. I get it. They've taken L's, but they've been in every single game that they've played. It's either been a one possession game or it's been close. So Raiders versus Jags, who y'all got?
Whew. The Raiders got trounced today. They got
They
the
did.
brakes beat off them today in New Orleans. Now they got to fly back to Sin City. Then they got to fly back to Jacksonville, or maybe they'll stay. They might stay on the East Coast. Maybe they'll pull the Kyle Shanahan. But they got to play the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. The Raiders, they didn't show me anything today. And like you said, Jacksonville's playing hard for their head coach. I think I would take Trevor Lawrence right now over Derek Carr. So give me the Jags.
I beg to differ. I'm kind of, even though his record doesn't show it this year, I've kind of been and I've been a Raider hater all of my life, but from the football side of things, to be analytical, I've kind of liked Derek Carr's game in terms of certain things he can do. Now, it doesn't always translate to wins. I get it. And they look really, really bad today. I mean, I can't take away any positives, but I just feel like they had to be fired up, pumped up for a bounce back game. And I see the Raiders pulling this one off.
Yeah, but I got the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Yeah. The Raiders. Yeah, I'm going Raiders, man. Trevor Lawrence. I woke up early and caught the second half of that game in over in the UK. Trevor Lawrence, inexcusable interception down by the goal
Justin
line.
Simmons? I mean, that's the thing, though.
Yeah.
That pick, like, I understand the intent, right? I understand he's trying to get it to, I think it was Marvin Jones, but you got to know the player that's right in front of you, and Justin Simmons and the caliber safety that Justin Simmons
Can't
is.
do it.
You can't do it. Like, he made a play on it, right? And I wasn't even surprised because Justin Simmons is an elite safety in the league. So, like, you just got to know. You got to know when to take your shots and when to take your risks. And that one just wasn't it. I want to shout out Niner Gang Wolfcast. He's grown in the last couple of weeks. He's also another 49ers content creator. Go check out his channel if you haven't already. Niner Gang Wolfcast is doing phenomenal stuff on his channel. So go check out his channel if you haven't already. But yes, and Corey also says thank you for the birthday wishes. No, hope you had a great birthday, Corey. Much love, much love. Rich, I don't think you gave your prediction on this one.
Raiders. Yeah, I flipped 2 different cards, man, and they both said Raiders.
He's like, I flipped the Jimmy Garoppolo card. I flipped the Deebo Samuel card.
Yep. Kittle said Raiders, so man, I'm gonna follow it, man.
All right. Lastly, I forgot to mention this, but briefly, I just want to get each of your thoughts on CMC 3 touchdown performance. Just briefly, what y'all think? Let's start off with our special guest in 49er Minded.
I love it. It's awesome. It looks like, I'm not saying that the one game validates the trade, but this guy's barely been with the team. People don't understand how difficult it is to learn a playbook, let alone an NFL playbook, let alone Shanahan's playbook. So for him to step up, and especially in absence of Deebo, because Deebo's usually a Rams killer. And on the Panthers, what's his name? CMC had a pretty damn good game against the Rams too. Now the Rams won, but I love the acquisition. People can complain about all the picks they want, but all the picks that we gave up. But we got some comp picks coming our way anyway, so well worth it. I love the trade. I love the move. I'm happy for him. Hope to see more of these games.
Money well spent. Give me CMC over Trey Sermon, Joe Williams, and what's his name? Paper Plane McKinnon. Give me CMC over those 3 guys any day of the week. And like you said, man, people complain, cry about the picks. For every Dre Greenlaw, every George Kittle, the 49ers can draft a Solomon Thomas or Reuben Foster. So give me CMC. Hell of a player. I can't wait to get his jersey. I can't wait.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, McCaffrey was exceptional. The guy can run it. He can throw it. He can catch it. McCaffrey can do it all. And not only that, he was making people miss in tight spaces, right?
You
He
see that
gets to
spin
that
move?
second level.
Spin move?
Yeah, the spin
Spin
move. I saw
move?
him break a safety's ankles when he goes, whoop, 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 and he's by you. McCaffrey, what an exciting player. He's just bolstering this runner game. He's a spark to the offense. Love it.
I love you, Bay Area baller. Just make me just want to sometimes there ain't even no words, like just whoop whop.
Bay Area baller just wants to make you run through, like Bay Area baller. You honestly,
man.
Like he can make you run through a brick wall. Like he out here, like Bay Area baller. He's
If Shanahan doesn't pan out, we'll hire you as a coach.
You know what? You should be. Sorry to cut you off, Rich. Bay Area baller should be Barry Baller, you should be the motivational speaker for the 49ers pregame. Like, you would get the whole locker room hype. They would walk out the tunnel with the beatbox. They would be hype pregame, right? You should be that guy. You should be that motivational speaker pregame that motivates that team.
I'm gonna apply. I'm gonna apply for that gig.
Hey, you already are that, baller. Yeah, man. Like, I learned something today. Like, one thing, like, when I heard you talking a little while back, Amin, and it was like one thing I learned about the 49ers today was CMC is that plus more, especially, maybe, being with the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, hey, look at the trust that Kyle Shanahan put in, basically his first full game, and he's throwing a touchdown pass. He's catching a touchdown pass. He's running one in. He's everything that we thought plus more. I learned that it can be put on CMC's back, and he could take advantage of that. He played Deebo better than Deebo today. Just my opinion on, when you get into the territory of doing something that's only been done 11 times in NFL history, I mean, hey, that's the answer right there. When we were all hoping he would be this spark. Like, could you imagine if we didn't kind of even see these glimpses for a few weeks, or, for him to answer that fast? Shanahan put in the trust. It looked like there was some rhythm. I mean, for God's sakes, Jimmy's out here 21 of 25. It just not just the spark that came from him, but it looked like it sparked the team. So it's absolutely amazing. Like Jay said, money worth spent. Like Bay Area Baller said, he started getting into that, we're ready to run through a brick wall, just all of us combined. That is what CMC is. Super juiced. Hey, sometimes it's that kind of a spark that could revitalize the entire season, drift on to the rest of the teammates. And he looks like he's made of the right stuff, CMC. You could just see the heart. You could see the heart. Even when he has a good 10-yard run, he's over there like, oh my God, I was this close. Like this. He come back to the line. Hey, feed me again because I'm about to break. Like I'm going. I will go through that brick wall. Let's go. Give it to me again, and just like Debo was at the end of last year. Hopefully we see both of them taking turns on teams in these next coming weeks and go on a run.
Yep. I mean, CMC was phenomenal today, right? With the absence of Debo Samuel, CMC put the offense on his back and was dominant. Threw for a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown, caught a touchdown. CMC was dominating. And this is the thing, right? Like, you have a guy now in CMC, if Jimmy Garoppolo has to force it, or Jimmy Garoppolo has to throw a check down, or Jimmy Garoppolo has to dump it off, you have a guy that can take a 5-yard pass or a 5-yard dump and can take it 50, 40 yards. It's incredible, right? Like, there would be times where, like, Baller, you kind of briefly mentioned it, but like that spin move, broke 2 tackles and got the first down. Like, that's what CMC can potentially bring to this offense. And the Niners now have Debo Samuel, who's a wide receiver that can play running back, and you have a running back that can line up in the slot and that can play receiver, right? So it's great, and I'm so excited to see what the 49ers can do and what Kyle Shanahan can drop with this offense. But it's honestly great, and Christian McCaffrey, at least today, he was the spark that the 49ers offense needed, and it was overall just fun to watch as a fan. It was definitely fun to watch. It was exciting. But Christian McCaffrey was great today. And you have a guy, like I said, that can take a 5-yard pass and can take it 40, 50 yards. Or if you're 5 yards short, can break a couple of tackles and get you the first down. If Jimmy, has to check it down to Christian McCaffrey. But Christian McCaffrey overall was phenomenal. Had a hat trick, 3 touchdowns. First player to ever have passing, receiving, and rushing touchdowns since 2005. So props to Christian McCaffrey. Definitely the spark that this 49ers offense needed. And it was definitely fun from a fan's perspective to watch CMC today. So great overall win, great overall team performance, and especially great performance by CMC. Any final comments before we wrap up the show?
Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it. I've been watching you guys over the past few weeks. Back of my head was like, oh man, I'd love to be on with these guys. And I mean, read my mind some way, somehow. So thank you.
Pleasure to have you on 49er Minded. But that basically wraps up the show. I mean, we've gone for an hour and 22 minutes. Appreciate these kind gentlemen and our famous celebrity guest in Bashar Ross for joining us on today's stream. I never knew Bashar Ross was a 49ers fan, so that's definitely a first. I thought he just paints and but he's a 49ers fan, so that's great.
That's big time. Well, yeah, I want to let him know. I want to let the chat know that we got a not only football match. We got a primetime matchup between me and Jay in the Bay coming up on Tuesday in Madden. So if you want to see that, maybe we'll put it up. Maybe I'll stream it on Twitch. Subscribe to my Twitch, Bay Area Ball 18.
Check it out. Check it out.
I don't know if Jay might stream it on YouTube or follow all of us. But it's going down Tuesday, right, Jay?
Tuesday night. Yes, sir.
The beatdown. The beatdown.
I'm genuinely looking forward to that, man. And I gotta cop one now because I'm hyped up just even hearing that this is going to be a competition. Y'all are going head to head, and I'm down. I'm down for that, man. I love it, man. I need those competitive outlets. So you guys are inspiring me. I've heard Madden isn't that great, but I'm gonna suck it up and go grab it, and hopefully we can all see who is the best Madden King.
Absolutely.
I feel like I already know who the Madden King is because I've already faced him numerous times. But I feel like I know what's gonna go down on Tuesday. Like you never know. You never
You
know.
never
We haven't
know.
seen Jay or
You
we
never
haven't
know.
seen Rich. I mean, we don't know.
We
I
don't
think
know.
Jay's
You know,
been
Jay's-
working. I can see it on Jay. I think Jay's been.
Jay kind of got like that quiet confidence in him, like humble confidence in him.
I
Like he's
know.
like,
We'll see.
I
what
mean,
happens.
We've never
overhyped
played
me.
each other, so I
Amin's
don't know.
overhyping me. I gotta bring
Baller,
that
don't
A
let me
game.
down, Baller. I got my money on you, Baller.
Oh,
Don't let me down, all
it's
right?
that. You're the one doing the talking for me. I'm trying to downplay it. You're over here yapping
Because
me up.
I know what you can do, all right? I know Baller is an offensive genius in Madden. Like, people call Shanahan an offensive genius. Baller's the real genius on Madden. That might just be because he plays me all the time and I might just be bad at Madden. Or it's actually that, wow, whoa, he started nodding. He was like, yeah. Wow, Baller, I see how it is. I see how it
And
is.
what platform you guys playing on? PS5, PS4? PS4. I have PS4 actually. I just need to get the new Madden. Maybe I should play you guys.
Yeah,
I'll probably suck though. I'm pretty rusty. I haven't played in like a year.
49er content creator Madden League going.
Yeah.
49ers first takes. What's up, Aaron?
What's up, Aaron?
This
Hello,
one's for
Aaron.
you.
A quick update on the standings though for the game predictions. We got Amin at 10-9, Jay in the Bay at 10-15, and then Baller and myself are tied at 17-8. But
Whoa.
we still got the game. Tomorrow's Monday night game is also a part of it. So that's why there's one game that's not on there. And you guys all got the Bengals. I got the Browns. So just a little update on that. We'll see how next week goes. What's cracking? 49er first takes. Yay.
All right, but that basically wraps up the show. If you haven't already checked out 49er Minded's channel, go check it out at 49er Minded. One of the greatest theme songs, intros in the 49ers content creation land. Go check him out, 49er Minded. Go follow him on Twitter, also at 49er Minded. Go check out Jay in the Bay, my co-host on Straight Out of the Bay, at Jay in the Bay. We'll always greet you whenever you come into the stream with his "What's good? What's good?" So go check him out if you haven't already, at Jay in the Bay. Go follow him on Twitter. And go cop some "What's Good" merch if you haven't already. Down below, we got Rich. Go check out his channel at Keltz Chronicles. The link is go check out his channel at Keltz Chronicles. And lastly, go check out my boy Baller's channel at Barrier Baller 18. Go check him out. He's also on the Krug Show occasionally after Warriors games. So go check out him on the Krug Show. And go follow him on Twitter at Barrier Baller 18. Go check out all these guys' channels. Appreciate you all for joining me. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go do so. It would be greatly appreciated. We're back. We took a couple of weeks off, busy with school, had a lot of tests, but we back. Hopefully, we're gonna see some more consistent uploads from me. But appreciate you gentlemen for joining me. The Niners got a dub. Next week is the bye week, so don't have to deal with any pain next week, potential pain, or heartbreak next week. But definitely looking forward to the bye and then next week Niners versus Chargers game. But appreciate the Straight Out of the Bay crew for joining me. Appreciate Bashar Ross for joining me. And that basically wraps up the show. As always, go Niners, and we'll see y'all next time. Blue Troop, appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Aaron says love all you do. Appreciate that. And Blue Troop, thank you everyone. Thank you for the kind comments. Thank you everybody in the chat. But we'll see y'all later. Peace. Y'all.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, we're having some technical.
I gotta stay still for this, or what?
Yeah, you gotta stay still for this. I don't know what's going on with me right now. I thought I ended it. All right, never mind. I got it, y'all.